Welcome to the F-16 AGM-88C HARM and HAZ mode training. You begin at 15,000 feet in Masal, 10 nautical miles northwest of your home airfield, Katoos Air Base. Your aircraft is in autopilot alt-hold, steering select. The first steps will be to set up the aircraft for air-to-ground combat and set up the AGM-88C HARM in HARM as sensor or HAZ mode. Unless otherwise indicated, most of the highlighted button presses and spacebar presses will immediately forward the lesson to the next step. On your first time through the training, it is recommended that you listen fully to each set of instructions before taking the action that will move the lesson forward. When ready to continue, press the spacebar. To set up your F-16 for air-to-ground combat, press the AG button to put the aircraft in air-to-ground mode, and the F-16 is now set for air-to-ground combat. The next task, you will not really need the SMS for anything else, and moving on with HAZ configuration. On the left, then press OSB 12 a second time. You should now see the page selection menu. Press OSB 18 to select weapon. This will bring up the AGM-88 HAZ display. The default setting is a wide seeker scan using the Table 1 threat radars. This configuration gives you a scan time of approximately 49 seconds. A lower scan time is desired in order to detect threats more quickly. Additionally, the HSD shows that the nearest threats present are an SA-2, an SA-6, and several AAA. None of these threats are in Table 1. Currently, they are not targetable. In the next steps, you will reduce the scan volume and select the threat radars that the HARM seeker will look for. This will greatly reduce the scan time as well as highlight active threats. When you're ready to continue, press the spacebar. The HSD shows that the threats are located just ahead of your aircraft's nose. Therefore, you can safely change the scan area to center. On the left MFD, press OSB 3 once. Note search time is reduced to approximately 12 seconds. Next, select the applicable table for the threat. Since we are well above the AAA threat altitude, we can ignore that. The remaining threat radars are on default Table 3. Now notice that Table 3 includes two SAM radars that are not currently a known threat, SA-3, or 3, and SA-13, 13. To ignore these radars, first bring up the table. All 5 radars in the table are highlighted. To unselect SA-3 and SA-13, to return to the HAZ display, press. The search time has now been reduced to an acceptable 7 seconds. You should see an S, search radar, and a 6, SA-6, appear in the Detected Target Status box, or DTSB. Below the DTSB, in the HARM Field of View display, you should see an SA and a 6A. A indicates a radar in acquisition or search mode. The S is a P-19, flat-face Bravo, search radar associated with the SA-2 site. The 6 is the SA-6 straight flush radar in acquisition mode. When you're ready to continue, press the spacebar. The next steps are fairly simple, but will often need to be performed quickly. Take a few seconds to review the procedure before starting the training run. Using the HOTAS controls, you will make HAS the soy. Move the Target Designator Cursor, TDC, over the 6A symbol. Designate the target. Once locked, the HARM box on the HUD will flash. Fire the missile with the weapons release button. Magnum. Good hit. Nicely done. For the second training run, you will be attacking a Hawk SAM site. Hawk emitters are not in the default table. Next, you will turn towards steer point 2. Leave the autopilot and Alt-Hold steering select, and the aircraft will fly the turn by itself. When you're ready to do this, press the spacebar. As you are turning towards steer point 2, you have some time to configure HAS. First, on the left MFD, cycle to Table 1 using changing the emitters in the tables is done via the upfront controls. Press left MFD OSB 5 to access the HARM upfront. The upfront controls HARM display will now show the 5 emitters in Table 1 with a 3-digit code for each. The first entry, T1, shows a highlighted 110. To exit the HARM upfront back on the left MFD, do as you did for the first train run. Optimize the HAS settings to reduce the search time. Use Center for the search area and Search to reduce the number of emitters. If you do this quickly enough, you should still be outside the Hawk's engagement range, as shown on the right MFD HSD. When the Hawk begins to track you, designate the HKT symbol and engage the target. Remember, this is a live weapons-free training run. Execute evasive maneuvers and employ chaff to avoid incoming missiles. Magnum. Congratulations! You have successfully completed the AGM-88C in HAZ mode training. You may exit the training now, or continue to practice against several air defense targets that have just gone active farther to the north. You can always land and rearm. When ready to continue, press the spacebar. Magnum. Winchester, AGM-88, armed. Lesson failed. Recommend you restart the lesson.
Cat flare. Cat flare. Cat flare. Cat flare. Cat flare.
Magnum.
Cat flare. Altitude. Altitude. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Altitude. Altitude.